know what time it is.
How it all works.
Come on.
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 The 2021 Masterclass series is over, but it was an immense success. Feedback received has been amazing, and we heard your requests. So in 2022, we will continue the Masterclass series once a month. On January 16th from 3 to 5 p.m., notice the new time, we'll have our first Masterclass of the year on course creation in Kajabi. There are many platforms you can choose from to host and deliver self-paced online course content. In this 2-hour session, you'll learn the key components that make an online course successful for whatever platform you decide to go with. But we will show some practical examples using Kajabi. $67 reserves your seat. Grab your tickets today at kirkarnugent.com/masterclass, and let's figure out how it all works. What's good, family? What's good? I know you can't see them exactly. I'm going to have them crouch down a little bit. I got the whole crew with me today. We all saying hello and happy holidays to all of you in the internet land from the Nugents. What's good, Carson?
Hi.
What's good, Kenzie?
Hello.
All right. And then here's my bride next to me here.
Hi, everyone.
We just want to start the show tonight by saying a word of thanks to all of you for your love, your support. It means the world to all of us, man. We could not do what we do here at How It All Works without you. And we just wanted to say happy holidays to all of you. So with that said, I want to say thank you to my family for coming through. All right, fam. All right. Let's get to our announcements, shall we? Okay, so the book. You guys know the book is out there. It's on Amazon right now. We want to make sure you guys are able to take advantage of it. This could be a stocking stuffer, something that you can put in your, what should I call this? Like, it's because it's digital, right? It's a PDF. Hey, woo, man. Thank you so much for coming through. And thank you for making the switch. We want to apologize to our folks that were planning on joining us on LinkedIn, made a error in the setup. So that stream is actually pushing, but it did not accept that frame rate over on LinkedIn. I'll explain a little bit later once we get into the show. But yeah, this book right here, I'm telling you, it's something that you can definitely use in your live video journey. And one of the things we're going to be talking about tonight is how to launch. If you want to launch strong, if you want to launch right, this is the book for you. It's a PDF. It's a 31-day guide. It's bite-sized. It's very short. It's practical. It has something that you need to do every day. I want to make sure that you guys are able to take advantage of that. So that's what that is. The podcast is launched, and I shared with you last week that had something special. And one of the reasons why I wanted you to get over to your favorite streaming platform, your favorite podcast platform, and check that out. One of the reasons was because we had a special interview coming up, and that was on the Social Media Examiner podcast. Yes, yours truly was on the Social Media Examiner podcast last week, and that is the link for it right there, socialmediaexaminer.com/489. So 489 podcasts, right? This is a one of the standard bearers in the marketing world. Really, really excited about being on that platform and to talk about something as innovative and as cutting edge as Amazon Live, some of the ways that you can get started. It was a phenomenal interview. If you guys don't know who Michael Stelzner is, if you don't know Social Media Examiner, something that you definitely want to go and check out. Again, one of these standards in the marketing world. And they have a conference coming up in March that I will be attending. So I'm excited about that and excited about some of those relationships that we'll be able to build in that space. So definitely check that out. socialmediaexaminer.com/489. We'll put it in the description of the video. Don't leave us right now because we do have special guests and we want to make sure you're here for that. So that's going to be special as well. You saw the promo video just a second ago as we were coming into the show talking about the success we've had with the Masterclass series. It's been amazing. We want to thank you for your support. We want to thank you because this was something that was birthed out of the community. You guys said, hey, Kirk, we need some, dedicate these 7-minute how-to videos are great, but we need something that's more dedicated. We need a time where we can ask questions. And this is what the Masterclass was born out of. And so we had this series where we went over StreamYard, we did Ecamm, and then we did remote production. Remote production just finished. And that was, again, we're trying to turn it into a course right now. The StreamYard one and the Ecamm ones are available on the same page, kirkarnugent.com/masterclass, kirkarnugent.com/masterclass. Go ahead and check that out because on that page, you can not only register for our next month's Masterclass, which is going to be on course creation with practical examples from Kajabi, but you can create a course on any of your platforms, but we want to make sure that you're able to do this on Kajabi as well. But you can register for that course, but you can also go back and take one of the previous courses on that same page as well. So definitely check that out, kirkarnugent.com/masterclass. I can see that Kanik is putting that in the description at this time. So we're making sure that you guys are covered there. Some people have been asking about the shirt, the sweater. This is the sweatshirt that I have on today. I actually have on the t-shirt that's in the, am I pointing the right way? Yeah, the t-shirt that's in the picture next to me, I have that on underneath the sweatshirt, the hoodie. So, answer a question, be consistent and be vulnerable. That's one of the t-shirts that we've done. Our guest should have received a t-shirt as well as one of the care packages. One of the things that we do for our guests here, I'm going to ask him when we get him on screen, but howitallworks.com/shop is where you would go to get that. Of course, the podcast is available on that page. All of our latest videos are available on that page as well. So definitely check that out from time to time. If you can, even bookmark that page. I think it will benefit you. Hey, David Kennedy, what's good, man? I see Woo is in the comments. I see some of our regulars are already here and you're already active. I want to ask you, Alan McDonald is here. I want to ask you guys to go ahead and share as well. Love the fact that the community has come through in this way. Our January schedule is what we have on the screen next. And I always like to make this a little bit bigger because, we want to make sure you guys can actually see that. I know that I can't because I'm looking at a small screen, but no show this coming Monday, right? A week from today, no show. That's 2 days after Christmas, no show. And then 2 days after New Year's, no show, right? So you guys enjoy your holidays, but we want you to come back and hang out with us for the month of January. What's good, Chris Gloss? Want you to come back and hang out with us the month of January. We're going to be doing a solo series with just me on screen. No convo and collab this time, except we'll have a conversation together, and I'll be dealing with live video strategy. So we'll be looking at defining your brand, building your community, automate, scale, monetize, and then the last Monday of January, we'll look at organic partnerships and sponsorships. So that's what we're going to be doing in January. Definitely make sure you come and hang out with us that month. February, we already have some really cool people lined up. Black history, content creation, live streaming. We're going to try and mash that whole thing up, bring some people on the show that I think you will really benefit from. In fact, we have one person booked already who has been on the show before and somebody that we really look up to. But today we have business coach and launch strategist Kymone Hinds is our guest, and this is his quote: "Nothing helps you find your voice more than sharing your message multiple times, even to a small audience." Nothing helps you find your voice more than sharing your message multiple times, even to a small audience. How it all works, family. Let's give a warm welcome right after the intro to our guest for tonight, launch strategist and business coach, Kymone Hinds. Yes. We have Kymone Hinds here with us on the show. Kymone, man, it's been a long time since we've had you on the show, man. Welcome back. I want to say welcome back before somebody else beats me to it. A couple of folks are loving your quote already in the comments, saying pure facts. Jermaine Nelson says, "We live." Kanik says, "Happy holidays, everybody." Gary Jones says, "Welcome back." Kymone, what's good, man?
Hey, Kirk, thank you so much for having me, man. It's good to be here with you and How It All Works family. I mean, I love what you're doing here, and I'm glad to be part of the conversation, man.
Absolutely, man. Listen, what I want to say to folks is, man, he's gonna give us some of his track record, right? Some of the things that he does. But what I want to share with you guys is one little secret, and that is Kymone has been one of the major funnels for composition, because he is always helping people launch their business, launch their brand, launch their product or service. And he utilizes live streaming as one of the critical and key ways to launch. He is constantly like, yo, Kirk's going to just take care of all of those pieces. He's going to get us right. So boom, he goes to go to Kirk. He's going to set it up. And I love that. I want to say a word of appreciation to you for that, because this is the time of year when you got to go back through the books and say, man, it's been a good year, right? It's been a good year. Yeah. And I'm excited about 2022 and all that it's going to mean for us. I see John Nixon is on the joint. He says, yup, one of the best.
Yeah, man. Listen,
Michael
Kirk,
Haywood is on. Go ahead, sir.
Let me say, I've always appreciated anyone I sent to you. You've done a good job. and you've made what they've been doing look so much better. So appreciate you for the
Excellent.
work that you're doing.
Man, I appreciate that as well,
Yeah.
man. And listen, this is why I want to just dive into our first question, because I don't want to belabor. I don't want to, kind of get off onto a tangent, because we can, if we start looking at these comments, we'll get into it.
We can.
But I want you to take a minute right here at the beginning of the show to tell the people a bit about yourself, who you are, and as a bonus, like what your relationship is to this whole live streaming content creation world.
Sure. So as you said, my name is Kymone. I'm a business coach, launch strategist, and really simply, I help people bring ideas to life, right? That's the name of my company, and that's what I do. My journey is that I started off in business, moved into the ministry field, pastored for 18 years, moved around the U.S., and then made a decision that I wanted to really lean into serving people in the marketplace to help people figure out what they were good at, develop their businesses from it, and then take them out into the marketplace. And so for the last 3+ years, that's what I've been doing full time here in Tampa, Florida with my family. Just a little tidbit about myself. I consider myself to be an ultimate cheerleader. I have a video of myself cheering on my daughter as she's running track. And I feel like that's what I do for my clients. I cheer them on, give them strategy, but also I think one of the biggest things I do is I help people know you can do this. What you have is valuable. There's someone who needs it, and you can do it. So that's what I do. And you asked me, what's my relationship to live streaming? I think it goes back to when I started off with a podcast.
Yeah.
Back in, wow. I've almost forgotten when I started off podcasting. My first podcast was actually with an organization called Pastoral Evangelism Leadership Conference.
Wow.
Thompson
Okay.
and I, we talked about doing this podcast, and we pitched the idea to the leader. His name is Dr. Jesse Wilson. He was like, sure, you guys do it. And somehow the lot fell on me that I had to be the host. And so I was figuring that thing out, but I was having great conversations with people and realizing, wow, this is actually like having these kind of conversations.
Nice.
From that, I started my own podcast. And as you're doing podcasting, one of the things you realize is it's good to record and share your conversations. But after a while, you want to take some of that and start doing it live so people can interact with it. So I think it was during the process of my podcast that I started, people, Facebook Live became a thing. I started going live and allowing interactions and questions. And so really, that's how my journey of live streaming started, from the podcast, wanting to give my audience more access to the people I was interviewing. And then it's become really a part of the strategy that I help my clients with to get their message out there.
Man, that's so good. That's so good. Here's what I want to say this right here, since this is an appropriate moment. One of the, so let me say it this way. Kymone is so gracious with his own podcast guests that he even had a young man by the name of Kirk Nugent.
Yes, sir. I remember that. That was a good
on his
interview,
podcast. Man. I was doing a podcast tour at the time. And for those that don't know, and if you want to hear that story, come to the after party. I'll tell you. Go grab your tickets at buymeacoffee.com/KirkRNugent, and I'll tell you this story. But I was doing a podcast tour. I wanted to be a guest on 50 podcasts in the course of a year. And I was able to do that. And I learned a lot from that journey. In fact, in some instances, I could even say that some of what I'm doing right now started in that journey as well. But he took a chance. He took a chance on me, had me come through to his podcast, and we had a phenomenal time. That podcast, if I'm not mistaken, Kymone, you used a platform that I had never seen or heard of before.
There we go. Yep.
It was called StreamYard. This was at least a year, if not more, before the pandemic. And the StreamYard had not blown up to the heights of what we know it to be now. But I remember getting in there, because my background is in broadcast. And I remember getting into the studio, and I'm like, Kymone, what are we doing right now? He's like, yo, we're live on Facebook. So we recorded the podcast, but he also live streamed it as well.
Yes.
And he's like, yo, we're live on Facebook. And I remember, so I was trying to keep up with his questions and, stay on topic. But I remember thinking to myself, like, what's going on right now? How is he doing this with a browser? Like, this is phenomenal. How did they do this? And that's what sent me down the rabbit hole to where you see me today, right?
Wow.
Literally took all of the things from my broadcast background, came to this tier 2 streaming platform and began to put all the pieces together of what you see today. So I want to appreciate you for the invitation. No, seriously, this is why I was like, we got to end the year. You got to end the year with somebody who has been pivotal to the creation of this space that we're in right here. So I just got to give you your flowers, Doc. I appreciate you, man.
That's cool. That's cool. What a great story. Yeah.
No, man. And again, if you guys want to hear that, the rest of that thing, come to the after party. Here's what I want to do. I want to throw this up here because I want to make sure that we have enough time to get into some of the other pieces of our conversation tonight. If you saw the title, we're going to touch on those points. In fact, we got a question for you coming up right after this one. But I want you to take a second, Kymone, and just tell people, your origin story. I mean, so we kind of heard pieces of it, in terms of the podcast, but then, you're currently using live streaming today in some very unique and special ways. Talk to us a little bit about that. And then even from the perspective of somebody who may be getting started right now, what would be something that you could say to them from your experience, from the things that you've been able to do? What would be that one thing that would really release them to have permission to give themselves a chance?
Yeah, so I think, as I mentioned a little bit before, content creation story is the podcast is where I started. Right. I wanted something of my own that while I was working my job, that I could get a message out that was not something that was a part of my job. I think for everyone, there are things that we do that are a part of our job. If you're working a job, if you have you're in a particular career, and those are great. The things that you do on your job, I applaud that. But there's always something outside of that that's a passion of yours. And I recognize, okay, you know what? I want to find a way to do that. So I started a podcast, real simple, got some simple equipment, and just started interviewing people. And the whole goal was to just hear and tell good stories. So I wanted to tell stories of people who took an idea, did the hard work, went through failure, and got it going. And so the podcast started, and it really affirmed for me that there were more people who were sitting on great ideas than I even knew. And so it was just kind of sparking something. And so from the podcast, it really almost led me down the path of pursuing and starting my own business. Wow. Now, there's some folks that I follow, and I remember when I started watching them using Facebook Live. And I know some of us, I'm not always an early adopter on things. I'm kind of a little nervous. I don't want to be first one out there. But I remember thinking, if my audience is engaging and asking questions after the podcast, I had set up a Facebook group. I would put it in there. People would respond. And I said, what if I can give them another opportunity to ask questions live during the podcast? So that's where my Facebook Live stuff started. And I remember just realizing, wow, that when you go live, you're getting immediate feedback. You have the opportunity to get immediate feedback from an audience on what you're talking about, right?
Yes.
It's one thing. Let's say you're interviewing me now, Kirk, and you ask me a question and we're talking about something, and this show is over. There might be someone, if we weren't doing this live and having an opportunity for an audience to ask a question, someone may ask you a question. You should have asked them this, Kirk. And that's over. That's gold. The opportunity is gone. But if we're live, they have a chance to be a part of it. And people don't necessarily want you to just do something for them. They want you to build it with them. And so that's what live streaming allows. It allows it to be an interactive thing. And if you realize people want almost user-generated content where you're not just doing something for me. We're all kind of collaborating on this experience together. I'm dropping my questions. You're recognizing it. You're answering it. So that's where live streaming started to become something. And so along the way, I remember wanting to launch my first product. The first product I ever launched was something on podcasting. I had done it for a little while. People were asking me, and this is kind of a tip that we'll get into later. People were asking me, how did you get started with a podcast? And the lesson I learned is if 3 people ask you how to do something, come on, you make a product for it, right?
That's right.
How did you do this? How did you do this? And you just keep, like for you, it's no big deal. But if people keep asking, you make a product. And I remember when I was getting ready to launch that, one of the ways I created a buzz about it, because you always want a little buzz, is I went live 5 days in a row talking about why every leader should start a podcast, right?
Did you guys hear this?
So I went live 5 days in a row. And what I did is I made it a series. So day 1, Here's the first point. I'll see you tomorrow at the same time. Day 2, we review day 1,
Boom.
presented day 2. I'll see you the next day. And I
Come
went live
on.
for 5 days. And at the end said, hey, if you're interested, I'm doing a webinar. So basically what I had done is really built an audience,
That's it.
nurtured that know, like, and trust factor, and then
Yes.
offer them another opportunity to go deeper. And
Yes.
it's like anything else, right? The first day you go live, you have some people on, and you tell them, share this video, right? Make sure you keep it public, tell them to share it. And what you're doing is then allowing them to
Yeah.
expose your message to their audience, right? You never know who's on there. So you go live, share, right? Which is something Kirk told us when you're watching this, to share it.
Share this, right?
Right? Because let me just give you a tip, right? One of the ways to grow your platform is to use OPP, other people's platforms, right? So you get on, you let them share it. And so we went live for 5 days. And really, that's one of the ways that I helped to get that first product up. I'll kind of stop here because I know there's so much we could get into.
Oh, my word.
But for live streaming, you have an opportunity to build with an audience, to take them on a journey, to have a conversation. And I know we'll talk about if no one shows up and those kind of things, but I think it is such an opportunity for you as you're building out what you have.
Man, if you are not taking notes right now, I think you are making a grave mistake. But what I can tell you is that the beautiful thing is you can catch the replay, and we will make this into a podcast. Podcast will be available tomorrow. For my podcast crew, I want to say a word of thanks and welcome to you guys as well. It's interested in your comments. Listen. I want to take a couple of comments here as I put up our audience question. Our audience question is dealing now for the people who have taken the advice, you've made the plunge or are making the plunge, and you're trying to figure out, okay, how do I navigate this issue of having no viewers? Like I go live and then I have zero. That zero is staring at me on the screen, and I'm trying to figure out, like, how do I deal with that? So what I want to ask you first is, if you've ever gone live and had 0 viewers, go ahead and let us know in the chat. Yes, I have had 0 viewers. Let us know in the chat that I have had 0 viewers. And if you have, then if you have had 0 viewers, then tell us, how did you handle that? So don't just put a yes. Put yes and tell us how. Did you decide I'm going to cut this thing short? Did you decide I'm going to just talk to myself in the camera? Did you decide I'm going to get my reps in and just practice the craft of actually presenting? Or did you decide, you know what, this is for the birds, I'm just gonna pull the plug here and then bring somebody else in? How did you deal with it? And if you have some things that you want to share with folks, talk to us in the comments. We want to engage with you. And while you guys are doing that, I want us to engage around this question as well. But we do want to grab two quick promos, and then we will come right back. Make a statement, start a conversation, buy a t-shirt. Go to howitallworks.com/shop today. Looking for marketing opportunities for your business? Consider being a show sponsor for How It All Works. Sponsor packages include a company shout out during announcements, your business name and website in the show ticker, and a mention in the show credits. Platinum and gold sponsor packages are available. Email info@howitallworks.com for more information. And we are back. So this is one of the things I love about doing the promo right there, is because it gives us time and gives you guys time in the audience to be able to share with us your answers to that question. That little delay that we have with when live. So let's scroll back up here. Let's take them one by one. Kymone, you can see the comments, correct?
I can.
Yeah, okay, cool. All right, so here we go. Let's start with, wow, let's see, man, we got some good ones here, man. Making sense of debt. Take that one. Let's start with that one, Kymone. It's way up there. Right underneath John Nixon. Go ahead and read that one for us.
He said, I have definitely had 0 views.
Okay, cool. And then Gary Jones comes in. He says, yes, practice so when guest comes, it will not be as awkward. So
that's right.
He's saying yes, and then he's also saying, I was able to practice in that space so that it wasn't so awkward. And I think that that is a great thing to do. Great way to utilize that time is to practice, right? That's a great way to utilize that time. So thank you, Gary. Jermaine says, I have had 0, and he laughed. All right, catch this one for us. Kymone.
Making Sense says, I just continued as if there was someone on. Listen, I love that because
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
GP says, yup, preach to an audience of none. Listen, you gotta. All right, Darian Claxton is here, man. Darian Claxton, what's good, fam? What does Darian say?
Never had 0, but definitely single digits. Doesn't stop me. So many folks watch the replay, and it's great practice.
This is the thing. I love that we're hearing this recurring theme of great practice. I love that we're hearing that. Alan McDonald says, I have in past live broadcasts had 0 views, 0 views or 0 viewers. Listen, there's a couple of things I'm trying to do here by asking this question. Grab this one, Kymone.
Yeah, Wise CEO says, I've had 0 viewers the day it went live, and then boom, viewers found the replays and engaged later. Also, the go live announcement was tremendous in getting views.
Excellent. Alan McDonald says, I just kept plowing right on through it until it was finished. I just kept on plowing through until it was finished. Winton Wilmot, get this one for me, Kymone.
He says, yes, I've had 0 viewers. I just share it.
Listen, it becomes a product that you can actually share after the fact. But I love the fact that we're hearing this thing of you have to dig deep and continue forward. So Making Sense says here, even though there was no one on the live, I got replay views. So it wasn't a waste. Not a waste. Also, just getting used to being live was great practice. Listen, these comments are rolling right now. I thought we were going to have a chance to answer as well. Jermaine says, for me, I start to spend time titling my thumbnail to something catchy and relatable. That's just one tip for me. Come on, Jermaine. Listen, if we don't go through these things, we would not have these insights to be able to share. Get this one from John.
John says, never had 0, but we've had small numbers before. We always just push through knowing that people will watch the replay.
The replay, man. The replay is the great equalizer. Virgil Vergara says, I've had 0 viewers, but we keep moving on knowing that the content can be repurposed for other things like podcasts, blog posts, or social media posts, etc. That is gold. That is gold. Seesaw Studios, grab this last one, Kymone.
I've had 0 views until I started making the intros longer and more creative to stop the scroll. I got some ideas on how to get away from 0 though, but that's good stuff.
Come on. Listen, this is the question. So we're gonna let Kymone answer this question as well. Before he does, I just want to share with you, I've had 0 views. I have even recently, right? I decided to start start over again, if you will, on Amazon Live. And the first few Amazon live streams, I did them without multi-streaming, right? You see, so I was not streaming to YouTube, Facebook. I just streamed to Amazon, and I had 0 followers on Amazon. So I was at the mercy of my thumbnail. I was at the mercy of what had in my carousel. And so the first couple of those live streams were rough. There was 1 or 2 people watching, and I think one of them was my wife, and maybe one of them was me monitoring on the big screen in front of me. But I just have fun with the camera. I decided to just chat it up with the camera. And some of those videos ended up making some significant sales for me later on down the line. So I wanted to share that experience as well. Kymone, though, talk to us about, of course, we know you've had the experience, but talk to us about how do you deal with that now, right? So what are some tips and tricks that people can do when they have that experience of, I went live, no one came. Now what do you do?
Yeah, I mean, so as most of us in here said, I've gone live, had the 0, and let me just tell you, the temptation is to talk loud. Once you see 1 on there, or you see 2, you like you just up your energy, like don't leave me, that's what you secretly are saying, right? But the key is, as someone mentioned, you know that people are going to watch on the replay.
Yes.
Right. So you want to make sure that you're giving just as good quality, just as much energy, just be as engaged as if there were 200 watching your live. So you want to make sure you're not shortchanging yourself. You're not shortchanging if one person pops up, if people are watching. You want to make sure you're giving the best quality of the information as possible. Of course,
absolutely,
when people are live, you're able to take questions. But if not, you almost like you can ask your own questions. Maybe someone might be asking, right? Someone on the replay might be wondering. You ask your own questions and you get it going. Because
Yeah.
here's the truth. For some people who have not started going live, you're dreading that zero. You're dreading those first few times. The first few times you go live, that's not for your audience. That's for you
Come
to
on.
help you find your own voice. So if
Oof.
you don't go live, it won't help you to find your own voice. It won't help you to figure out what I'm going to be talking about, what's my lane, how am I saying it. So going live at first is really for you more than the other person.
Oh man, this is good. This
Yeah.
is good. This is good. I mean, it is a muscle you're building. It is a muscle you're building. It is, and you haven't, especially when you haven't worked it yet, right? And to be clear, there may be times where you have worked the muscle. You've had some phenomenal live streams, but then today, unfortunately, you had one where there was nobody there. I take them as opportunities for me to just do my thing. Right.
Yeah.
I had a few weeks ago, I had an experience where Toya Glenn was supposed to be our guest that day, and she was having tech issues. She tried 4 different laptops in her house and could not get into Ecamm as a guest. Ended up having to join on her phone. But by the time she joined on her phone, we had like 20 minutes left in the show. So for that time frame where I should have had a guest, I just decided, let me lean into the camera and do my thing because I had some reps under my belt. Because I had that experience of having to fill, having to look at the camera and emote and deliver and be interactive. Because I've had to do that before, I was able to draw from that experience in that moment. And this is why I say nothing is lost. Nothing is lost. All of the experiences that you have make up who you are. And this is one of the things I say to coaching clients is the best part of the cycle, right, is review. And you never get to review unless you have already gone live.
That's
The
good.
best part of the cycle is the review.
Yeah.
That's where you watch tape. Every coach knows this. Every athlete who's worth their salt, who want to be top tier, they watch film. They go back and they review. In fact, sometimes they review other people's footage. If you're not consuming live streams, I would dare say you're not necessarily a student of the craft, and you will not get better. You've got to review. The best part is review, but in order to review, you have to have already gone live. And that's the critical piece. I want to get to our. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Can I share 2 quick things on this?
Please do.
Even if you have 0 people watching, you should never be talking to no one. Okay, so here's what I'm saying. Even if no one is watching live, you're never talking to no one. You need to have in your mind before you go live, who am I talking to? Who is my audience, right? Like, so am I talking to couples who are dealing with challenges? Am I talking to business owners who are trying to scale? Am I talking to women who are trying to manage the different challenges of life?
Right.
So, and you want to really define that down to one person, not just a group, but one person. So when you look in that camera, you're not having a conversation with just the camera. You're looking in that camera, even if it says 0 views, and you're talking to that person.
Come on.
That's what I want to just challenge you. Talk to that person, because one day that person is going to find it. And when they find your live, you want them to go, oh, she's been talking to me all along. Let me find out what else she has out there.
That's gold.
Yeah.
That's gold. I don't want to cut you there, but I just wanted to say that that's gold. And in the comments, we are seeing people respond to what is being shared as well. We want this thing to be practical. We want this thing to make sense. We want you to say to yourself after you leave today's show, okay, I'm going to give that a try.
Yeah.
I have some time off this next week. I'm going to go live by myself.
Yeah.
But I'm going to keep in my mind my perfect person, my avatar, that profile, right? The age group, the demographic, whoever that person is, and I'm going to speak directly to them as if they are on the camera. Somebody else says that I put a sticky note over the number of people watching, so as not to discourage myself. Listen, whatever you have to do, some of the streaming platforms have a way to turn that number off now so that you're not discouraged. Whatever you have to do to push through. The truth of the matter is, you know the value you have to offer from within. That is not for question, is not up for debate. And that actually leads us right into our next question. You know the value you have to offer. the question is, how long are the people who are needing that value going to have to wait to get it? Because you may be a little turned off by the fact that there's nobody watching. This is what I want. This is our next question. I'm going to throw it on the screen here so we can keep moving. We're at 7:37, which means we just about 20 more minutes left in the live tonight. Okay. Give us some practical examples, Kymone. I think you already have, to deal with not knowing what to talk about during a live show. Yeah. Because, here's one of the things I always say to folks. Camera confidence does not come from having a good camera.
Yeah.
Camera confidence does not having the best light. Camera confidence comes from knowing what you want to talk about and who you're going to deliver it to when you're live. I know exactly who I want to talk to. I know exactly what I want to share. And so I share that. I don't even need notes at times, because I know it's like, guys, if you could just get this one thing, I know that your live video journey would be completely turned over. So let me shut up now. Kymone, talk to us a little bit about that process. That's why the two of these are linked. Knowing what it is you want to talk about during your live show.
Yeah, the analogy I'll give is, we have a family of 5. Let's say I cooked, right? The easiest way for me to figure out what to make is to ask everyone, what do you want to eat? And once they tell me, I go make that, and I know that they will like it, right? Rather than me just starting with, what do I think I want to, whatever.
Come on.
It's much easier if I go ask and then go make what they ask me. And I think it's the same principle. If you want to go live, one simple thing to do is to begin asking people from your audience, what are some of the things that they want to hear you talk about? Before you have people listen to you, you listen to them. And so some simple things you can do is just post some questions. If you're a social media person, post some questions on your social media. And it can be, make sure they're questions that can engage, create dialogue. Yeah. What do you think is the issue with? What's your struggle with? What are your thoughts on? And allow people to dialogue with it, and you respond in the comments so that you're allowing the algorithm to see that there's engagement on that. But you'll see that there are some things that people are interested in as you're posting it, and you allow it to create a dialogue, and you watch the dialogue and you say, okay, from this dialogue, these are some of the things my audience is interested in. People who I may want to talk to are interested in. You can do a survey, but it's really one of the real keys is to ask a question, which is also another tip in getting more viewers, because the more questions you ask and you get people's feedback, you can simply say, I'm going live to talk about XYZ, because you've already kind of created a buzz, right? Yeah. We're talking about relationships, and what's a good age for kids to date, right? Let's say we do that. Yeah. What do you think is a good age? People start responding, whatever. And you ask another follow-up question. People aren't responding. You say, listen, I'm going live tomorrow to talk about dating for teenagers. So you have a group of people who've been engaging, they've been telling you, and then you go live. Ooh. They're invested in that live. Because they've been telling you that they're interested in it.
My goodness. Here's the only thing I want to add to that, because I think what Kymone is giving you guys tonight is solid gold. The only thing I want to add to that is to do your homework. Anybody that's in my community, anybody that's in the How It All Works fam, you already know that this is one of my phrases. You've got to do the homework. The homework is the prep work required so that when you come to that question, you have something to say. Yeah. So you ask them, hey, what do you think about this? They gave you your some feedback. Now you have to go and do some homework on that question to ensure that when you show up, you have something to say. Absolutely. I have my outline. I have my bullet points. I have something to deliver. Watch this. Even if no one shows up.
That's right. That's a Kirk. You said something there, because okay. So it's, if we have people asking and engaging, you can almost kind of go off of that. But yeah, I'll tell you, I write out what I'm going to say when I go live. I write it out when I'm going live, and I'll take questions and I'll engage, but I'm writing things out, because even though I've been speaking for years, I know I need to organize my thoughts so that when I get on, I'm sharing and giving value. I'm making sure that when people, because you're live and it's free, you may think, well, it's free, so people don't expect a lot. People are giving you one of the most precious things they can give you.
Come on, talk.
Not just your time, but your attention.
Attention.
Because our attention is like, think about this. You got TVs with so many channels, you just channel scrolling. I mean, like, it's the same thing on social media. So when people lean in and give you attention, you make sure you repay them with value.
With value. With value. And here's the other thing that I want to say. And Kymone is touching on all of my points. Go get the book, family. 31 live streaming tips to grow and engage your audience. The other thing I want to say is when you create a title for your live stream, you are making a verbal contract with your audience. You must deliver on the contract. So if I said to you, tonight we're going to talk about dealing with low or no viewers, how to, title your shows and how to know what to say. And then our final question, which we're going to get to in a second. If I title the video by saying that and I don't deliver on those questions, I've reneged on my contract. I've not made good. You showed up for certain content and then I didn't deliver. This is it's actually built in. Somebody said a second ago, I've been naming my live streams differently that are more catchy. I named them the questions we're going to answer. I named them look, this is it. This is the name of tonight's live stream. Just go and look at it. That's the name that's what we're dealing with. That's the topic that I knew Kymone and I could deliver valuable information on based on the experiences, lived experiences that we have, which is another critical piece. You don't want to just share from book knowledge only. You want to share from your lived experience. Kymone is sharing with you what he knows works because he's been in the trenches and it has worked for him. Whatever it is, that has worked for you. That's the recipe for sharing something that you're going to be able to, that's a repeatable process that somebody else can do and have a defined result. I'm going to tell you right now, if you are if you are enjoying what we're talking about right now, you need to come back in January because live video strategy is essentially this. It is essentially these things, and I'll be going over these in the month of January. Kymone, let me throw our last question up because we're at 7:44, and I got a lot of comments that I need to get to. So let me throw our last question up so that we can get to those comments in a timely fashion. I love this title, Launch Strategist, because I think it's so critical and needed in today's age. So many people I come across have an idea, have something phenomenal, and there's an entire audience, an entire population out there waiting for them to put this strategy together to launch it. So I'm so excited and glad that people like you exist. But you have had this experience as a launch strategist, assisting clients with getting their product or service out there. Talk to us about how the live video plays into that strategy. This is going to be critical, y'all.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think there are like three phases really in this getting your product out there. 3 phases to launch. And really, I love the word launch because a lot of times, sometimes we come up with a product and we just like let it get out there and it just kind of dribbles out there and then it doesn't create a buzz and it doesn't create an effect and then it doesn't really catch on. So you really want to launch. And so there are like 3 phases, right? There's like curiosity, there's engagement, and then there's commitment. There's curiosity, there's engagement, and then there's commitment. Curiosity is where you pique people's interest. Like, wait a minute, something's coming. You've seen it for movies. They'll put just a picture, they'll put a short trailer, but it's something just to put something in your mind. I'm going to use a word, Darian, incept something in your mind. Something is coming, right? So if they put it in your mind, something's coming. So curiosity is like those questions you put out there. Curiosity is just a little something is coming. But once people are interested, you need to enlighten them. You need to show them how this is important to them. And this is where I think live video is one of the most critical things you can use. You can use it absolutely in the curiosity phase, but in the enlightenment phase, where you're just showing up on a platform that is an open platform, people can find you who are your friends, but not your friends. You're getting a chance to enlighten them as to who you are.
Right.
That you know their problem and that you can help them solve their problem. That's what you get a chance to do. You get a chance to show them who you are, that you understand their problem, and you know how to help them. And that's what live video gives you a chance to it's almost like a hyper way of building that know, like, and trust.
Trust.
I'm watching you, I'm
Right.
hearing you, I'm
Right.
interacting with you. I even ask you a question and you answer it. Wow, like, you're amazing. So live video gives you a chance to build that enlightenment. You're teaching people. You're even helping people who may not even know they have a problem to know, wait
Come
a minute,
on.
wait, I have
That's
that
me.
problem. Right? Like, yeah, that's me. Like, I didn't know I had that problem, but now that you told me, yeah, I really feel the problem now. Has that
Yeah.
ever happened to you? Like, you
Yeah.
didn't know you had a problem, but somebody told you, and
Told you.
and you can't stop seeing the problem. So
That's
you
it.
enlighten
It's
them.
everywhere now.
And then the next step is to commitment, right? It's okay, here is what I have to offer. Do you want it? And that's where you can even use live video, whether that's on a platform like this,
Right.
or using it live on a webinar or on another way to
Right.
get them into commitment. It's saying, okay,
Come
now
on.
that I've helped you, now that we have established that I'm someone that you know, like, and trust, now that we've established I understand your problem, I can give you the solution for this. Let me bring you into a commitment where I can help you even more.
My goodness. I this is one of the reasons why I wanted to end the season with this conversation with somebody like Kymone, but I'm excited that it is Kymone, right? Because we have that connection, we have that history, but also because so many people have these ideas, they have these things. And to be clear, it's not just the entrepreneur. It's not just the side hustler, the passion project pusher. No, it is even for the business. It is even for the small business who is trying to figure out, okay, we have this product, we have this service. It's phenomenal. We know it works for the clients that we are able to get. But now, how do I get this to a larger audience? How do I put it out in the marketplace? Live video is a perfect way to launch.
Absolutely.
Listen, this is one of the things I always say about live video. Because of the dynamic of live question and answer, where somebody can actually say something to you that you did not have a chance to prepare for.
Yeah.
I want to pause there. Somebody can ask you something that you did not have a chance to put in your notes, and you are able to dissect that question, answer it for the person, give them steps that they can go and do today to solve their issue. Guess what you've just done? They don't need the pitch. They don't need to see the ad campaign. They don't need the flyer. They don't even need a discount. They're willing to pay full price. Sign them up right then and there because they've been able to experience your greatness live. I've seen it every single time we do these things. We did the thing for, I don't even recall his name, but we did a financial legacy conference. Kymone was behind the scenes on that one. And there was a gentleman, an Asian gentleman that was speaking. And he shared in 10 minutes, he was answering something for somebody, and the passion with which he answered it. 3 people in the chat were like, how do I sign up with this guy?
Yeah.
Where's his link? He wasn't even the point of the conference. What I'm saying to you is live video is the top vehicle to deliver your value on a scale that is exponential. Sean Cannell, who's the mastermind behind Think Media, says it this way. Every time you put a video out there, it's like turning on a robot that will never turn off. It just keeps going and going and going. You get my point. It just keeps on working for you. And so when you put that video, that live video out there where you are displaying your secret sauce, your superpower, your greatness, that's all people need. They want to experience more. They want to understand, how can I get into business with this person? How can I have that magic working for me? This has been my strategy throughout the pandemic. Every client that I receive is because they've seen me live. So I wanted to leave that with you. I want to make sure that we understand, fam, why I am such a proponent of live videos, because I've seen it work for me. And I'm so glad that Kymone is able to come through and hang out with us tonight and talk about how it has worked, not only for him, but for clients of his as well. Here's what I want to do real quick is grab a couple more questions. And then we're going to give Kymone an opportunity to plug some of the things that he's got going on. I have a couple of comments here that I really wanted to highlight. John Steven Nixon says, live streaming changed our whole our whole world. The immediate feedback is essential to scratching where people are itching. I starred this comment because I was like, this comment is gold. And here's another one that I wanted to touch on because this is what we're all about here. Credit Dave says, I'm about to go live for a moment for the first time tonight. It's a test show, but even a test show is still a show.
That's right.
And I want to say, let me tell you something, Dave. This is what I want to say. Credit Dave, you've already won.
Yes, sir.
You've already won. The mindset it takes to say, I am not going to sit on this information. I'm going to act on it right now is exactly the mindset you need to have to be successful at your goals. But I want to say this also, as you go into the new year, keep that same energy, that same hustle, that same drive. Don't just hear and learn, but act on it.
That's right. That's right.
Execute it, because that's where the real power is. I wanted to grab those comments real quick. Let me see what else we got here. Oh man, we got some really good ones. Read this one for me. Let me see here. This one, read this one for me. This is for me, Kymone.
Living Water Quilter says, people are giving us time and attention. Repay with engaging content.
That's good. That's good. That's good. Gueston Pierre says, verbal contract. Just stay right there. Just stay right there. This one is, I love this one. Paul Graham says, it was Kymone that gave me the launch 13 years ago.
Wow.
13 years ago. That is amazing. The Buoy Project. The Buoy Project. That's amazing. And here's the last one that I want you to read, Kymone.
Says here, blind guy, his wife, their life. You build trust with your audience when you answer questions live, giving immediate value.
That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. Keep that same energy. Could be that same energy. Fam, I want to take a moment right now to show you. Let me see what we got here. I want to show you Kymone's site. Can I do that? We got Kymone on the screen right now, but we want to show you Kymone's site real quick. Here we go. And this is ideastolife.me. ideastolife.me. I want you to see this site. I want you to bookmark this site. I believe this site is in the description of the video, and it will be in the description of the podcast for my podcast listeners, for my replay squad fam. It will be in the description. We want you to know this site, go to this site. One of the things I want you to understand is that he is, am I saying this right, Kymone? You're open to taking some calls? Is that correct?
I am. Listen, let me say something to the audience. My schedule, a call link is still there. Things are going to change in the new year. So if you want to schedule a call, I would do it this week. I would say I would do it this week.
Listen, all prices. What did Fat Joe say? The yesterday's price, the 2021 prices, not 2022 price.
Yeah.
So definitely go ahead and book that call today. If you have an idea that you want to bring to life, book him today. I want to give you time right now, Kymone, to just share what you have coming up, any projects, anything that people can find and support you. And I also want to say, if you have any ways that people can find you, follow you on social media. I mean, your handle is right underneath your name, but maybe some people can't see that. So definitely say it for them so they can find you there as well.
Sure. Absolutely. So please, you can follow me on any social media platform at Kymone Hinds. So at KYMONE HIND as in David, S as in Sam. Growing up, I had a very unique name that I didn't like, Kirk. But now I realize it's the biggest advantage because I can get my name on every platform. So yeah. And I'm gonna announce something tonight that no one I've shared this nowhere. One of the things that I am really passionate about is there are a lot of people with great expertise that need to package it and put it out there as offers, right? They need to take the thing that they have been allowing people to get from them for free, or maybe they're coaching it in a one-on-one, or they're doing it as a service, and they don't know how to make this into a one-to-many offer so that they can free up their time and become known for what they know. And so January the 27th to the 29th, I'm doing a 3-day challenge helping you to create your offer, right? To take what you know and turn it into an offer, a 3-day challenge. I'll share some more details. So you can go to my website, you can email me, and I'll give a special discount to the How It All Works family if you drop me an email,
Hey,
Kymone@ideastolife.me. Just tell me I watched this on How It All Works, and I'll give you a special discount for being a part of the How It All Works family.
listen. You guys, this is epic right here. This is epic. I'm hoping that you guys are hearing this. I'm hoping that you guys are taking advantage. And this is what I want to say to you. We are about to end our live show because, you know, it's time to end our live show. But I want you to see what's on the screen right now. The How It All Works live Q&A session is available. The after party. Come join us right now. Go to buymeacoffee.com/Kirk R. Nugent. Grab your tickets to the after party right now. It is less than a coffee. Buy your ticket. For my members, if you haven't received that email already, you should have. So go ahead and grab your ticket through that email, and we want to see you in the after party. Kymone Hinds. Wow. I cannot thank you enough for coming through, sharing from your considerable expertise and experience. I see Myron is in the chat. He says, call him tonight. But yeah, man, listen. This prices are going. John Stevens says prices are going up. Lola Moore Johnson says, come on, listen, ideas to life. He gave his email address. I hope that you heard that. But Kymone, I want to say a word of thanks to you. Thank you so much for coming through and sharing tonight, delivering on the verbal contract, if you will, that we want people to know. Here is the process. Here are some of the things you want to do. Here's how you deal with having no viewers, not being sure about what you want to talk about, and where does the live video piece fit in your launch strategy. All of those are the things that we were able to talk about tonight. And I want to say a word of thanks to you for being here.
Awesome. Thank you, man.
Don't go anywhere, by the way. Man, family, what a night. What a night. What a night. We always get a chance to hang out in this way. We always are blown away by our guests. We're blown away by what they have to share. I'm hoping that you received answers to the questions you were looking for. Do not take this moment for granted. Get into the after party. Make sure you hit him up. Get his email address. Go back, watch the replay right now. Get the email address. Email him. Take advantage of that call, and take advantage of that challenge coming up in January. Man, it has been our absolute pleasure to be your host here at How It All Works for this season of Convos and Collabs. We're starting it back up fresh in January, the second Monday in January, 7 p.m. Central Time. We're going to be going over live video strategy, all the tips, tricks, tools, best practices that you need to know to take your live video journey on the road. We're hoping that you can come in and join with us. We also have a masterclass coming up in January as well, talking about course creation, the structural side of course creation. We're going to be talking about how you can use live video to create your course as well. $67 gets your seat. Check that out as well. KirkRNugent.com/masterclass. Man, it is, again, my pleasure to be your host, to sit in this seat, to ask the questions of our guests, and to engage with everyone on the stage and in the comments, basically kind of, you know, making sure the trains run on time, if you will. I'm hoping that you got a chance to peek behind the veil a little bit, to have that light bulb aha moment. Essentially, I'm hoping that you're able to figure out how it all works. And we'll see you in the next video. Later.